What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, then welcome to you guys. This is our weekly swing watch list for the week of November 28th. I send out these videos for you guys every single day. The weekly swings I send out every week. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell. That bell will send out the notifications for when I do send these videos out every single week, every single day. Okay, guys, if you've never been a part of this channel, if you've never been part of this strategy, what we teach here, then it's going to change the way that you guys trade, because it is, in its simplicity, the easiest way to trade in the stock market. And I am a very simple trader, and I will always tell you guys, if you simplify trading, trading will become simplified. And that's exactly what we want to teach you guys here, is how to be a simple trader. So before we get started, I'm on Twitter. You can find me there at Mr. Clark Griswold. And the screen that you see in front of you, that is TradingView. There's a link in the description below. So TradingView is how I chart, how I go over all my trades, how I create my watch list. The link in the description for TradingView gives you a free 30-day trial to their subscription-based services. So I use the Pro Plus. There are free versions of it, but you'll get a free 30-day trial if you click on that link, and then you'll get up to $30 off of that subscription if you choose to go ahead with it, but you need to start by clicking on that link. There are ads that are going to roll through here, guys, and I'm going to ask you in advance and thank you in advance to let those ads roll through, because they do pay for my time and they do pay for your education on these videos. So thank you guys in advance for that. And as we go through the video, I'll talk a little bit about the Discord that I've got, the trading indicator, and a bunch of other things. I do one-on-ones with people. I have live trading bots in the Discord, so make sure you're checking all that out. There's links for all that stuff in the description below, or it's on my Twitter page. But let's get started on this watch list for the weekly swings. I will start by saying, guys, when I do option plays for the swing trades, the option trades I'm taking, I get a 2-week expiry, and then I'm getting at the money or just out the money, usually for the swing trades. Okay, so we're going to start with Apple. And even if you're not using options and you're learning this stuff and you want a way to use, I'll wait till I get to a smaller stock to explain it to you. But I'm going to go through how you can do it with common shares as well. But for the option plays, guys, we're going to look for calls on this one at 150, 183. And then our first targets are just the tops of the preceding wicks. Or if we look for the puts at 146.93, the targets are the bottom of the preceding wick. Now, the reason I have a trigger on both sides is because we have an inside bar or a 1 bar. You notice those candlestick numbers. That's part of the indicator I created, as is the yellow inside bar, the time frame continuity, and a bunch of other things that are included with that indicator. Now, the inside bar is very important, and I always tell people, if you're struggling with trading or you're new or you're trying to figure stuff out, concentrate on the inside bars. So inside bars, or 1 bars, they don't break the high and they do not break the low. They stay within the range of the previous candle, and it's true on all time frames. And it's a consolidating range, and it's a tightening range, and it basically, when you see those yellow bars, I want you guys to think of a spring becoming tightened or compacted, loaded, or compressed. And when you have that, you expect to see an explosion to one direction or the other. Now, you can see we've had a nice break off of this inside bar, and I like to go back in time to show you guys that it doesn't always work, and it's based off of probabilities. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but this inside bar here was actually an outside bar inside bar setup, a 3-1 setup, but it ran, we had a really, really great run on Apple on the week of September 26th. You go back to the next inside bar. So we triggered and we hit targets. And that's all we can ask out of the candles. If they're telling us where to trigger and they're telling us where to take our profit at the targets, then we can't ask for anything more than that. Now, this one triggered and we came down a little bit, and it probably would have been a losing trade if you would have jumped in on that. So it doesn't always work. But like I said, we trade based off of probabilities, and every strategy that you guys look at is based off of probabilities. Whether you're looking at EMA crossings or you're looking at MACD or whatever you want to look at, this is the most simple way to trade, because there aren't any real indicators. And indicators are always lagging. Price action is the true thing that you should be looking at. It's where you'll get in the earliest, and it's where you'll essentially your probably be able to take the most profit. So when I was saying probability, we don't know what this next candle is going to be. Now, off of the inside bar, we can say the probability of it going 2 up or 2 down is very high, and not staying inside bar is very low. So we're not front running this at all. We're waiting to see what actually happens, and we play what actually happens, but it's all based off of probability. And when we have probability, we have risk. And I will tell you guys over and over and over again, the best traders, the people who do it really, really well, are the best risk managers of their capital. Learn to do that, and you will become a good trader. It really is. I don't want to say it's that simple. It is that simple, but it is very difficult to get to that simplistic level because you get overtaken with emotions. And so one of the things I've started to realize that if options isn't really your thing, so let's look at the calls here at 151.83, puts at 146.93. Let's go to Bank of America, or Boeing Company. That's the next setup, and I'll talk about it on a different thing here with the common shares. But we have a 2 up that finished green. So normally, this wouldn't be a high probability play for me because we are all 2 up and green. I would like that to be red, but because we are at the top of this broadening formation, that is the one spot where I would look for this to trend back down. And I've got the trigger marked out at 171, and the first target is at 168.52, the bottom of the wick of the next candle. Okay, we move on to BAC. So BAC, Bank of America, double inside bar. So this is basically the same thing as a single inside bar, but we've had two straight weeks, guys. For 2 weeks we've consolidated, and I can show you this way. Doesn't matter. I can just do it off of the 2 inside bars. Basically, what is being created here is a inverse broadening formation. So instead of going higher highs to higher highs and lower lows to lower lows, we're going to lower highs and higher lows, and that's creating this inverse. And we're getting squeezed here. We're getting a tightening range, a spring getting smaller and smaller. And when you let it go, it's going to look to jump and really explode to one direction or the other. And that's essentially what we're looking for off of the inside bar, but now we have a double inside bar. So calls at 37.87, puts at 37.06, and the first targets to the upside are the top of the wick of the previous candle, bottom of the wick of the previous candle. And what I was going to say here for common shares, guys, I'm not going to tell you guys to short a stock because I wouldn't do it with common shares. With options, yes. With common shares, no. So listen, this is at $37.87. Okay, if we trigger there, let's say you buy 10 contracts. Okay, it's $370. That's what it's going to cost you. Your first target is at 38.31. Now again, that's only 40 cents. So it's not a lot, but it's really going to teach you the nuances and how to play this and how to trade this. Because worst case, let's say we trigger to the high side and you use the trigger to the bottom side as your stop loss. Well, the most you're going to lose on this trade is 81 cents. So it's $8.10 is the most you're going to lose if you buy 10 contracts. That's it. That's the most you're going to lose is $8. Okay? So that's really how I want you guys to learn this strategy, is by trading common shares to the upside. If you're not familiar with options or you're nervous about using this strategy, that's what I would tell you guys to do. Okay? It's really one of the better learning tools that you guys can use, is just trading common shares before you jump into options on this stuff. Now, feel free to use options if you're overly comfortable with it, but if you have that worry, you're putting real money into the market, you're worried about losing it, trade that way so you gain the confidence of trading with real money and dealing with those emotions. Okay, BIDU inside bar as well. There was a ton of these on the day trade setup that I put out every single day for you guys for Monday. A ton of inside bars. There's a bunch of them on the weekly, and they both a lot of them are 1-and-1 with each other. So there's inside bars on the day, there's inside bars on the week. So BIDU inside bar on the week, we look for calls at 98.68, puts at 91.82. 88. Citigroup, inside bar again, double inside bar. So the last time we had a double inside bar on a weekly setup on Citibank, we have to go all the way back to June. It's a rare, super rare pattern, but really, really powerful at times. So if we go look, again, if I was doing a top 5, and usually the top 5s go out to the Griswold Gold members, it's the membership that I have set up with my Discord. That link is in the description below. The Discord is free, 95% of it, but there is a paid version where you get live trading bots, one-on-ones with myself, group chats with myself and the rest of the members, and a bunch of other really great things, including top 5s every day, the top 5 setups every day. So double inside bar Citigroup the last time in June, and we triggered here and we hit multiple targets. Okay, so a really, really good setup. And that's what we would expect out of a double inside bar. That's the probability that we're talking about. The probability is, yes, we should have an excellent run. It's something that we should be able to get into and make a lot of money off of. So Citigroup on the day, those two pink, two yellow lines, that's my inside bar. We're looking for a break to the high side or the low side to break out of the inside bar on the day. And then we've got the inside bar on the week. So if we trend down, we trigger the day, we are likely going to trigger the week. Cat with an inside bar. So we can look for calls on Cat at 239.63, puts at 228.27, and we are approaching the top of a broadening formation that was drawn all the way back in, again, I can adjust these however I want, back in January of 2022. So that is our inside bar setup on Cat. We're moving on to Chewy. Chewy has a tight inside bar on the week, top of a broadening formation. And if we zoom out, you can see there it is. Lows to highs to lows to highs. We didn't come quite back down to the lows. We kind of trended along that support, if you want to call it that, on the broadening formation. And we're going to look for this to trend back down to the downside, or maybe it just breaks right through and keeps on going. But calls at 42.44. I'd like to see puts here at 39.90 on Chewy. CRM, 2 down green. So one of the plays was not an inside bar. So a 2 candle only breaks one side of the previous candle. It's a directional candle. So again, we're looking at probabilities here. When we have a 2 down, but it finishes green instead of red, that gives me probability that this is going to trend up on the next candle. So that's why we're looking for 2 ups here, a 2 up at 154.04 on the trigger. And again, guys, look to take this as common shares if you're nervous. Okay, 2 shares is going to be $308. Okay, the most you're going to lose on this is like $20 at the very most in a week. And even if you want, like, the Strat indicator that I have has a 50% indicator on it. Sarah Strat Sniper's 50% rule. So we go into settings of that Griswold Strat indicator. If I can click on it, and it's not going to let me, but we can add that 50%. Let's see, settings. Doesn't look like it's going to let me, but we can add that 50% marker. So it's going to be somewhere in here. So let's say that is your marker. Let's say it's 150 for simplicity's sake. So the most you're going to lose if you use the 50% marker on the trade is $4. Okay? $8 because you're buying 2 contracts. So the most you're going to lose is $8. Learn to trade with common shares, and then you can move on to something a little bigger with options. Or maybe common shares is just your jam, and that's the way you want to trade. Okay, it doesn't matter, but that is the easiest way to do it. DIA, the diamonds. Okay, so DIA, a couple broadening formations. Here's a bigger one, and then a broadening formation within a broadening formation. We are at the top of it. So if we zoom out to see how this thing played out, highs to lows, to highs here, back down to the lows, back up to the highs here, all the way down to the lows, back up to the highs. Okay, so now that we've tagged it, are we coming down to the bottom here, or are we going to break up to the top? Well, because we're hovering here, this is the option that I'm going to look at. If we trend up, it's fine. We don't need to take the trade. But if we trend down, we're looking for puts at 135.53 on the Dow Jones Industrial ETF DIA. 2 down green, hammer candle on DocuSign, calls at 46.69. And again, this is one of those simultaneous breaks that we're looking for, where if we trigger on the day, we're likely going to trigger on the week to the upside. Okay, Ford Motor Company, inside bar, actually double inside bar on Ford Motor Company. So the last time we had a double inside bar, this blue highlight, part of the Strat indicator, the gold highlight, part of the Griswold Strat indicator. Let's go back. There it is, double inside bar on Ford, and it was a gap play, okay? So we'll see if we can find one more. And if you're looking for how to play gaps, guys, top right-hand corner at the end of this video. Here's another gap off of that double inside bar. So we will see what happens with Ford on Monday morning. Where we end up opening will be interesting to watch. Goldman Sachs, inside bar on GS, you betcha, calls at 389.44, puts at 375.42. IWM, inside bar, we're looking for calls at 186.37, puts at 181.43 on IWM. Lowe's, inside bar, calls 215.70, puts 208.23. Lyft, 2 down green off of an inside bar, so we call that a 1-2-2 rev strat. A 1-2 down, 2 up is what we're looking for. 1-2-2 rev strat, calls at 11.39. Also an inside bar on the daily that we're looking to break out of. Trigger on the day, trigger on the week. The domino effect. Okay, Moderna, inside bar, hammer candle. 2 actionable signals in our favor. So calls at 180.79, puts at 170.27 on Moderna. MS, that's Morgan Stanley, inside bar. I told you there was a lot of them. There's even more on the daily watch list, so make sure you check that out. Calls at 91.08, puts at 88.57. MU, that's Micron Technology, inside bar. Calls at 59.13, puts at 56.82. If you guys like this stuff, if it's helping you out, make sure you guys are clicking on the thumbs up there. Give me a like. And if you have comments or questions about any of this stuff, make sure you're leaving them down below, guys. Let me help you guys out. Let me answer those questions for you. If you're making profits on the trades, if you have questions about the Discord, feel free to ask them down below. Nike, inside bar, calls at 107.18, puts at 103.60. We move on to Pfizer. Pfizer with calls at 49.25. Here's those numbers I'm calling out. Puts at 47.72 on the right-hand side here, guys. And then we also have an inside bar on Pfizer on the daily. So again, if we trend up, we're going to trigger the day. We're going to trigger the week. We'll see how Pfizer plays out. SE is C Limited, so we can look for calls off of this inside bar on C Limited. Calls at 57.41, puts at 51.76. Here's the last inside bar, guys, and this is what I'm talking about. Every candlestick tells a story. So this inside bar, we broke to the bottom side. We hit triggers. We hit targets. Okay, did it hit second targets? We have to go back. Bonus points if you guys know where that's from. Comment down below if you know what that back is from. Hit second targets. Okay, so we hit 2 targets on that last inside bar on SE. On the weekly target, this is a super tight inside bar, a 3-1 setup, hammer candle. I'm hoping for calls on this thing. Either way, it's fine. We've got great magnitude on either end, but we've got a hammer candle, we've got an inside bar. So 2 actionable signals. We can look for calls at 164.14, puts at 155.75. That gold bar tells me there's a 3-1 setup, outside bar, inside bar setup. The last time we had one, we end up going double inside bar. The one previous to that, let's find the last gold candles. There we go. Look at this. Okay, perfect example. Outside bar, inside bar. And in 1 week, we triggered and targeted. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 straight weeks. Then we have like I guess you can call that a TTO, and then we're back up again. Okay, really good setup on target for next week. Go to Tesla, my Esla, 2 down, finish green. Hammer candle, calls at 185.20. It'd be nice to see Tesla have a run back up to the upside for all you long-term guys. Visa, inside bar, hammer candle, calls at 214 even, puts at 205.35. Alibaba, inside bar, calls at 79.06, puts at 74.58. General Motors, inside bar, top of a broadening formation. Let's zoom out. And again, you can draw broadening formations from highs to highs, lows to lows. I don't even think these are drawn on the monthly chart. I'm not sure. Even if we drew them there, if we draw them there, we can do that. Okay. Highs to lows, coming back up, back down to the lows, back up to the highs, back down to the lows. Where are we going next? Where's the next two? Inside bar, General Motors, calls at 40.47, puts at 39 bucks. Again, guys, thank you guys for all that you do, for subscribing, for following me on Twitter. I appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you are subscribing down below and hitting that subscribe button. Get in on the Discord. The link is in the description below. I'll help you guys out in there. I will help you guys out with the videos. I will help you guys out on Twitter. Ask me the questions. I will help you out, guys. Good luck trading. If you need a little extra help, one-on-ones, link is down below. Griswold Gold, the one-on-ones are included. So go check all that stuff out, guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Good luck trading next week. I hope you guys all had a wicked good weekend. Get ready to trade this week. And bye-bye.